Welcome to Urban Geo Hub, your go-to station for all things urban and geo-related. Today, we're diving into a hot topic that's been making waves in the world of personal finance: the shift in favor of renting over buying in our bustling urban landscapes. Recent analyses suggest that city dwellers might be onto something, with renting proving to be a more cost-effective choice in big cities. And it's not just a slight difference. We're talking about a significant 37% difference in monthly costs nationwide. This trend is reshaping the way we perceive home ownership and living in the city. As we navigate through the factors that are driving this change, we'll also touch on the crucial role financial readiness plays in making this decision. Whether you're a renter or potential homeowner, this shift could have a profound impact on your lifestyle and financial future. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into this intriguing shift in urban living. Let's kick off by examining the financial aspects of renting versus buying. Now, you might think owning a home is the ultimate dream, right? But let's put that dream under the microscope for a minute. Consider this. A recent analysis by Bankrate suggests that renting can be more cost-effective than buying a home. Yes, you heard that right. You might be thinking, how can that be? Well, let's delve into the numbers. On average, there's a staggering 37% difference in monthly costs between renting and buying nationwide. That's almost 40%, folks. Imagine what you can do with that extra chunk of change. This cost gap becomes even more pronounced in big cities. Why is that? The reasons are many, but the most significant one is the steep housing prices in these urban hubs. When you buy a home, you're not just paying for the property, you're also shelling out for the mortgage interest, property taxes, homeowners insurance, and not to forget the upkeep and maintenance costs. On the other hand, when you rent, you're only paying the landlord each month, and that's it. No extra costs, no surprise bills. And in big cities where property prices are sky high, the cost of ownership can quickly outpace what you'd pay in rent. Of course, this doesn't mean that renting is always the better option. It's more about finding what works best for your financial situation. For some, the flexibility and lower upfront costs of renting can be a boon. For others, the stability and potential for investment that comes with owning a home might be more appealing. But the key takeaway here is this. Don't just assume that buying is always better than renting. It's crucial to consider all the costs involved and make an informed decision. As we can see, the financial implications are significant. Now, it's important to note that this trend isn't uniform across the country. Yes, in the vast metropolises, renting is more cost-effective than buying a home. But what about other regions? Let's take a closer look. In the Northeast and Midwest regions, the financial landscape is a bit different. These areas have smaller gaps between the cost of renting and buying. Yet even with this smaller disparity, renting still comes out on top. In these regions, the cities are smaller, the cost of living is lower, and the real estate market is less competitive. But despite these differences, renting remains the more cost-effective choice. Why is that? Well, it's a combination of factors. The cost of homeownership isn't just about the mortgage. There's also property taxes, maintenance costs, insurance, and the potential for home value depreciation. When you add up all these costs, renting often makes more financial sense, even in regions where the cost gap is smaller. This isn't to say that buying a home in the Northeast or Midwest is a bad decision. Homeownership can be a great investment, particularly if you're in a financial position to handle the associated costs and risks. But for many, especially those who are not yet financially ready to take on such a commitment, renting remains a more flexible and financially viable option. So what's the takeaway here? The cost-effectiveness of renting versus buying is not a one-size-fits-all scenario. It varies based on a multitude of factors, including your personal financial situation, the local housing market, and the broader economic climate. And while the gap may be smaller in some regions, the scales still tend to tip in favor of renting. So no matter where you are, the scales seem to tip in favor of renting. But cost isn't the only factor in this equation. When it comes to deciding whether to rent or to buy, there's a whole host of other considerations that come into play. One of the most significant of these is your financial readiness. You see, buying a home isn't just about being able to afford the mortgage payments, it's also about being able to handle all the other costs that come with homeownership. Think about things like property taxes, homeowners insurance, and maintenance costs. These can all add up pretty quickly, and if you're not prepared, they can throw off your budget significantly. So, how do you know if you're financially ready to buy a home? Well, one key indicator is your savings. It's recommended that you have enough saved up to cover at least 6 months' worth of living expenses. This is to ensure you have a safety net in case of unexpected expenses or changes in your income. Plus, you'll also need money for the down payment, closing costs, and any immediate repairs or upgrades the property may need. Then there's the matter of debt. If you're carrying a significant amount of debt, it might be better to focus on paying that down before taking on the additional financial responsibility of a mortgage. High levels of debt can also affect your credit score, which in turn can impact your ability to secure a mortgage or get a good interest rate. Market conditions are another key factor. Just because you're financially ready to buy a home doesn't mean it's the right time to buy. If property prices are high and inventory is low, it might be worth waiting for conditions to improve. Conversely, if you're in a renter's market where rental prices are low and there's plenty of available properties, it might make more sense to rent for the time being. Lastly, consider your future plans. Buying a home is a long-term commitment, typically at least 5 years. If you're not sure where you'll be in 5 years, or if you value the flexibility of being able to move easily, then renting might be a better fit for you. In conclusion, deciding whether to rent or to buy is a complex decision that requires careful consideration of your financial readiness, the state of the market, and your future plans. It's not just about whether renting is cheaper than buying or vice versa. It's about what makes the most sense for you given your current situation and your future goals. Thus, it's a decision that goes beyond simple cost comparisons. So, what's the best course of action for urban dwellers, you may ask? Well, it all boils down to your individual financial situation. If you're unable to afford a home at the moment, the most recommended route is to stick to renting. Renting allows you the flexibility to channel your funds into building a robust savings account. It's crucial to remember that owning a home isn't just about covering the mortgage. There are additional expenses like property taxes, maintenance, insurance, and occasional repair costs that can really add up. So, if you're not in a position to comfortably handle these expenses, renting is your best bet. While you're renting, focus on building your savings. This will not only put you in a stronger position when you're ready to buy a home, but it also serves as a safety net for unexpected expenses or changes in your financial situation. But what about growing your wealth? If you're not buying a home, where should you invest your money? There are several alternative investments to consider that can help you build wealth over time. Investing in the stock market, for instance, can be a viable option. Historically, the stock market has provided substantial returns for investors over the long term. However, it's essential to do your research and perhaps seek advice from a financial advisor before diving in, as investing in stocks comes with its own set of risks. Mutual funds are another option. These investment vehicles pool money from multiple investors to invest in a diversified portfolio of stocks, bonds, or other assets. They're managed by professional fund managers, which can make them a good option for those new to investing or those who prefer a hands-off approach. Lastly, let's not forget about retirement accounts. Contributing to a 401k or an IRA not only provides you with a nest egg for your retirement, but also offers tax advantages that can enhance your wealth over time. In conclusion, while the idea of owning a home can be enticing, it's crucial not to rush into it. Take the time to assess your financial readiness, build your savings, and explore alternative investments. Homeownership is a significant commitment and a long-term investment, and it should be approached with caution and thorough preparation. So, don't rush into buying a home if you're not financially ready. Instead, use your urban living situation to your advantage, rent comfortably, save diligently, and invest wisely. Your future homeowner self will thank you. As we've seen, the urban living landscape is changing. The age-old debate of renting versus buying has taken an interesting turn, with renting emerging as a more cost-effective option in major cities across the United States. This shift isn't just a financial trend, it's a testament to the evolving dynamics of urban living. To recap, we've learned that the difference in monthly costs between renting and buying can be as large as 37% nationwide. This gap is smaller in the Northeast and Midwest, but renting still takes the lead as the cheaper option. This is a significant revelation, and it's reshaping our understanding of urban living costs. We dove into the regional differences, uncovering that location plays a huge role in the rent or buy decision. From the bustling streets of New York to the tranquil neighborhoods of the Midwest, the cost dynamics vary, and so should your approach to housing. We also explored the factors that should influence your decision to rent or buy. Financial readiness, a concept that extends beyond just your current savings, is pivotal. It includes factors like your debt, market conditions, and even your future financial plans. It's not just about being able to buy a house, but about being able to sustain it. Finally, we discuss the advice for renters and potential homeowners. If you're unable to afford a home at the moment, focus on building your savings and wealth through alternative investments. The journey towards homeownership is not a race, but a marathon, and preparedness is key. The urban landscape is ever-changing, and it's essential to adapt with it. Armed with this knowledge, you can make informed decisions and navigate the urban jungle with confidence. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to Urban Geo Hub for more insights on urban living. Thanks for watching.